Hey y'all, I hope you're having a great Sunday. I'm having a great Wednesday. I'm actually recording this on Wednesday, July 31st, but it's going to be uploaded for you on Sunday, August 4th. This is video number 79 for me, and this is the FlossTube collaboration Fiber Fest. Again, brainchild of Cheryl McKinney, and we're going to be talking about some various fibers. And the one I get is to talk about my favorite dyer of silk, Joe Mason of Silks for You. Welcome back. If I didn't say it, I'm Leslie with Phat Phlossing. I'm a little discombobulated because I'm not used to recording before I'm going to upload. We're going to have to see if that's going to work because I've never done that before. But anyway, we're going to talk about some silk stuff. I am a silk addict. This is my little hoard, and frankly, I'm like a dragon with his jewels. I'd like to just sit and stare at them and hold them and pet them. I'm blanking on her name right now, but Stash Sisters, who refers to it as Princess Floss. Yeah, I think it's Princess Floss. I love silk. I can't afford to only stitch with silk, but I love me some silk. So we'll talk first a little bit about the history of silk in general, and then I'm going to talk more specifically about Silks for You because I think they're awesome. Silk's been around for hundreds of years. Silk is the product of the name of the moth I don't remember, that feeds on mulberry trees and spins a cocoon around its larva. And those cocoons are then harvested and soaked, and the fiber is unwound from them to create silk. Silk comes in two different kinds. The highest quality silk is what's called filament silk, and that's where the fiber is unwound in one long strand from the cocoon. Filament silk is more expensive and is less commonly used in embroidery threads. There are some that are filament silk, but spun silk, which is the second kind, is more common. And spun silk is just what it sounds like. It's a silk thread that's been spun together from the little bits and pieces that didn't all come off in one long, neat thread. And it's spun together similar to like what cotton or wool fibers are to then form a thread. Silk comes in any number of strands, most commonly from 5 to 12 strands, I believe. There may be some that are outliers to that, but those are the ones that I'm most familiar with. And it comes, there are a plethora of people dyeing silk these days. One of the ones that you may not have seen before, and I haven't used this for years, is something called Trezibond. And if I can get it, it comes on a little spool. But Trezibond is more commonly used for needlework on lower count fabrics, like if you were working on a, maybe an 18 count linen or something. It is a much heavier, I didn't think ahead to have something to hold this up against. It is a much heavier fiber. And it comes off the spool as it's meant to be stitched in one thread. I don't think that you can strand Trezibond, and I've never tried. I used it on a couple of projects years and years ago. I haven't used it in years. It still feels really nice. It's silky and soft, just like you would expect silk. I don't think you'll be able to see it. It is twilled. You can see that there is you probably can't. I can see that there is a spin to the fiber. But Trezibond is if you're doing something on a smaller count linen, you might be able to use it. It's very commonly used in needlepoint. And these are in no particular order. I'm just going to show you a bunch of silks that are in my collection. Rainbow Gallery produces what's called Splendor. Splendor is, I believe that it's 12 strands. I could be wrong. Each strand of the Splendor is a little bit thinner, in my opinion, than a strand of DMC. It typically comes on one color per card. This example that I pulled out, this is some of their skin tone examples. You can order these from various places. I actually ordered this for my Mirabilia Lady of the Flag, and I'm using the flesh tones from here to do her face and skin. But it is a silk, and it is very pretty and nice to work with. I think it works great for 1/1 because it is a little bit smaller, so it doesn't get bulky even on our higher count fabric. Kreinik makes a silk called Silk Mori, and it is, I believe, a 6-stranded silk. I like Mori okay. I'm not crazy about the fact when it comes wound up in a little, skein like this, and they tie a knot in it, and I'm not real fond of having to untangle the knots. But the color is nice, the feel is nice. I do like the fiber itself. Ship's Manor, who is Eric with Ship's Manor, Eric Shipley, is an independent dyer. He dyes mostly in cotton, but he does dye some silk. And Eric gets some wonderful color. This is a 12-stranded silk. So you're gonna get a fair, if you get a 12-stranded silk versus a 6-stranded silk, even though this is 5 yards, you would get as much off of this as you would off 6 strands getting a 10-yard skein, because there are more strands per length in this. Ver A Soie is commonly used by a lot of companies. It's a lovely silk, comes in a great range of colors. Mrs. Sedas is another independent dyer. You may have seen Jan Hicks. Jan Hicks Creates. It's been using a lot of Mrs. Sedas lately, and she really likes it. I have gotten some of her fibers. I have not used them yet, so I don't have a particular opinion on her, but it looks lovely. Classic Colorworks and their Belle Soie have been around for a long time. I believe Belle Soie is also 12-stranded. Yes, it's a 12-stranded spun silk. The Thread Gatherer does Silken Colors. Silken Colors, I believe, is also a 12-stranded. I'd have to count them to be sure. I find Thread Gatherer silks tend to give great coverage. This is something different that I have never had before. This is silk from Mo's sale. I only recently got this. It has a nice feel to it, and her color variation is quite lovely. You can see the variation in that brown. And it's a little bit different because instead of coming in 6 threads together, it's all individual pieces of silk. So I'm interested to stitch with this and see what that's like. Soie d'Alger is another very commonly used silk. A lot of designers really like Soie d'Alger. I like it also. I just haven't taken this one out of its little hank or skein, whatever you want to call it. Gloriana is famous for their beautiful colors. She does a whole lot of variegated colors. Hers is also a 12-stranded silk. Gloriana is a little bit pricier in my opinion, but it is a lovely, lovely silk. Carrie's Creations is a 6-stranded silk. I've used a little bit of the Carrie's Creations. I've used it on a couple of projects. It's okay. I like it well enough. I don't think that it gives quite as good a coverage as some of the others. Each fiber seems to be a little bit thinner. Needlepoint Inc is an 8-ply silk, and it's NPI is fairly commonly called for in a number of patterns. And then Dinky Dyes, this is a company that was actually started by Joe Mason, who now does silks for you. Dinky Dyes does a number of lovely silks, and I believe that theirs are I believe this is a 6-stranded silk also. It's very nice. And then we can get to talking about Jo and her lovely fibers, which are from her company, which are called Silks for You. Jo originally started dyeing. I think she got into it like a lot of people do because she couldn't find readily available what she wanted in silk flosses. And she actually started dyeing in 2001. Oh, excuse me, 1 second. And her company was called Dinky Dyes. And she dyed for about 13 years. And then she was moving back to Australia in, I believe, 2014, I think. And she actually sold Dinky Dyes to Kathy Phlossing, who I believe still owns the company and is still dyeing under that brand name. Jo started Silks for You as a way to sell her seconds and excess floss from Dinky Dyes, and it just grew from there. People asking for her flosses, and Jo gets lovely, lovely color saturation. Silk is known for the saturated colors that you can get. It takes dye pretty well. These were her June flosses that I received recently, and it may be my favorite pack from her ever. The colors are just gorgeous. They make me think of being on a cruise ship out in the ocean and just the lovely variation in color that you see there. The depth of color is terrific. To show you another example, Jo had some extras from last October's Silk of the Month. This was the October 2018 color pack. And again, just lovely, saturated, high sheen colors. I had a thought, it came and went. Oh, from her website, which is Silks, SILKS, the number 4 and the letter U.net, and I will link all that below. You can order either in skeins, and not all colors are available at all times. It depends on what she's dyed and has available. Or you can order in hanks. Her hanks are the best deal you will ever get. I forgot to look and price out exactly, but it seems to me that they were in the neighborhood of 220 yards for some ridiculous price, like 30 bucks ish. I don't know. I would have to look back to make sure. But if you have a buddy that you can get together with and split some of those, because a hank is a lot of silk, they are a wonderful deal. But visit her website at silks4u.net, and you can see some of her beautiful, beautiful colors. They're just, this blue is just fabulous. They have a great hand. They're extremely soft and pliable. This is Joyeux Noel that I stitched this spring. It's a Blackbird Designs piece. And it was stitched with a variety of silks, but the majority of them are Silks for You silks. And it's just, they stitch up beautifully. I can't compliment Jo and her work highly enough. She's, out of all those different silks that I showed you, she's my favorite dyer. They're my favorite company to get silks from. The quality is excellent. The coverage is wonderful. The price is incredible. You just can't beat it. And along those lines, oh, and before I forget, she also does specialty dye requests. Like if you tell her that you want a silk dye to be the same as DMC 212, she does do request dyes. You just have to email her and she will work that out with you. And she has been generous enough to offer a discount code for the month of August for anybody who wants to order her silks. The code, and I'm gonna again put all of these in the box below. If it's not there immediately when this posts on Sunday, I'm not sure how that works since I've never set one up to be posted in advance. If it's not there on Sunday when it posts, I will get it done Monday when I get back from Stillwater. But the code is FlossTube, capital F, L-O-S-S, capital T-U-B-E, 19 for a 15% discount. And again, she does have an Etsy store, but because Etsy's fees have gone up exponentially over the last several months, she is requesting that you order from her website, which again is silks4u.net. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me or message me, and I'm happy to make sure you have the information that you need. Now, we recognize that not everybody wants to stitch with the same thing. And I also talked to Ann Thompson of the Shepherd's Needle in Little Rock, and Ann is being generous enough to also offer a discount code. And that's whether you use it on her website or if you do a phone order or if you go into the store there in Little Rock. And the code for that is Leslie, my name, Leslie 20 for a 20% discount, not only on her silk fibers, but on all fibers in the store, also good through August 31st. So those two ladies are being really generous, allowing me to give you guys those codes, and I hope you take advantage of them. And I certainly do strongly recommend that you try some of Joe's silks because, again, they're just beautiful and fabulous and make me want to stitch with nothing else. They're wonderful. One other little tip. I saw a video from Caroline from Off the Grid Needleworks recently regarding some cuticle cream that one of her friends had made for her. I looked into making it myself. It was going to be ridiculously expensive per unit for me to make it myself, so I did some research and found a company on Etsy called Mind, Body, and Soul Company. And if you want to order some of their cuticle cream, which is a beeswax based cream, and I've been using it, I have very dry skin and my cuticles are frequently quite ragged and will snag silk. And I've been using this, it's really helping. I think it's great. And Tanya with the Body, Mind, and Soul is also going to offer a discount code for anybody who orders this. It's Hurley, Hurley 15 for a 15% discount off your order from her. And again, I've found this. The two flavors I got the lavender and the lemon. Oh, and they smell so good, and they're helping my raggedy cuticles a lot. So I would recommend that to you also. But in closure, again, I think that Jo Mason is terrific. She has a wonderful eye for color. She is super to work with. You will just not have an interaction with a kinder soul. And her silks are fabulous to work with. So y'all please check out Silks for You. She's no flash in the pan. Again, she's been dyeing since 2001. I wish I could pull out all my other colors out of my little hoard over there to show you, but they're just fabulous. Her Silk of the Month Club that I belong to is 5 skeins, 10 meter, which would be a little bit more than 10 yards of 6-stranded silk for $20 a month. You get 5 of those, including shipping from Australia. The shipping time is currently running around 3 weeks. There's not a better deal going. I don't know if she's got the actual Silk of the Month listed on her website, but if she doesn't, email her and ask if you can join that. It is a super, super deal. That's all I've got for you guys. I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope you go and watch the other 9 ladies who are also going to be doing a FlossTube about whatever their flavor of floss that they chose were. I can't wait to watch those myself. Those will also be listed below once I've got that information. But thanks so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you guys again. And in the meantime, y'all have a great day, and God bless. Bye-bye.